So now I'm going to do the main body. Okay, so I'm going to select the rectangle and then I'll draw here. Let's take it down. I'll click here, and then click and then group. Control G to group. Okay, so let's move them down. So let's see what we have to do now. Select all of these. Oh, oops. Okay, I'll have to use the shift key and then select them. So I'll select these. Okay, select these. Close this, and then while holding on the shift key, oops, just move this. Then just highlight the objects that I want. Okay, and group them. Control G to group them. So now they are one object. Okay. So right click, arrange, and then bring to front. Okay. And now click on the rectangle, the eyedropper I on the keyboard, and then I'm going to give it this color value. Then we'll click on the shape tool and then select the ellipse. So you're going to do a semicircle. So as usual, I'm going to use the direct selection tool to just convert it to a semicircle by just clicking on any point and then hitting delete. Let's stretch here. Okay, while holding Alt, we'll just stretch and then just stretch here. Then I'm going to give it a color. As usual, the eyedropper. So I on the keyboard again. Okay, so let's see what we are supposed to do now. So let's try and do some patterns on the body. Rectangle tool selected, I'm going to just do some patterns. So feel free, you can use circles or anything, any shape, just to do some patterns or designs on the cuts. Okay, so Control C, Control F, just move it. Remember rounding them. You can decide not to rounding them. It's up to you. Just be creative in the process. Okay, so now we can resize them, we can enlarge them, size them, reduce them, or any form that you'd want to. Position them anywhere randomly. Control C, Control F. I'm going to move it up. Okay, so that's nice. I'm going to move this here and then form the back of the cut. So I'm going to have to select the rectangle tool again, and then I will draw from here. Okay, and so I'm going to click at this point. So hold Shift and click at the node. Click here. So holding Shift and clicking, I'll just rounding them. So I'm going to round them to the top. So that's okay. So let me group this once. Oops, sorry, I'm gonna Control Z to undo, and then just Shift and then hold this, click this, and then group. Control G to group. Okay. So now I can click here, arrange, and then bring to front. Okay. And then click here, and then let me take it up. Okay. Then I have to click on the this body. So okay, this, and then arrange, then bring to front. Okay. So now let's see, we need to do the pause of the cuts. So Control C, Control F on this side, and then arrange and then bring to front. Then let's resize it while holding the Shift and Alt key to resize it. So to evenly resize something, you hold Shift and Alt key. So Control C, Control F, and then to resize. So resize it, okay, while holding the Shift and Alt key. So they're supposed to form the should I say fingers? Okay, or yes, okay. So this part we are doing the pause for the cat. Okay. So and I think this part is supposed to be where the fingers of the cat would be, so that the whole pause. Then I'm going to give it this color value. You might want to enlarge it by using Control plus plus to enlarge your artboard so that you can see what you are actually doing. So to reduce, Control minus, and then to okay, let's continue here. I'm going to enlarge it, and then try positioning it well. So bring it down. Okay, Control C, Control F, and then I'll move it with the help of the arrow key. Okay, so let's see what we can do here. Is just multi-select. Okay, let me give it a color first. Let me change it to this color. After I have to group them. Okay, so isolation mode, I'm going to change this to. Okay, so to put some object in isolation mode so they can work on it only, you just double click on it. So let's highlight these three, then Control C, Control F. So I hope I've already grouped this. Okay, so there's no need for me to worry about it. So I'm just going to move them. Okay, click and then move. Okay, click and then move to the left. So now move this here, the platform, and then I'm going to select the back of the cut. So click on it and then bring it down. Okay, so I think we are left with the tail portion of for the cut. Okay, so to do the tail, would use two options. One is to use the pen tool. If it doesn't work well for us, we would just go straight to the shape. So I'm going to select the pen tool. So select the pen tool, and then I'm going to click here, click, 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 and then you can decide to come down. Okay, so click, click, move, then click, then click. So to end it, I have to look for the circle. There's a circle. Okay, so where I started, I'll have to join at that point so that it becomes one. Okay, Control C, Control F. I'm going to reflect or flip. Yeah, so flip is the right word to use. And then let's see. I don't think this looks promising. I might switch to using the shape rather than the pen tool. But it's quite interesting. We can leave it this way. Might decide along the way. Okay, so click and get this part. Okay, so this part. So what I'm going to do is I would have to delete it. So I have to delete it. Then you could switch to the shape. So just delete them. Then let's use the rectangle tool to do it. So I'm just going to draw a horizontal rectangle and then rounding it with the help of the direct selection tool. Then just Ctrl C, Ctrl F, and then use the up arrow key to move it up. So we are trying to form a shadow. So have to click on the shape below the other shape, and then just give it a darker color value to form the shade. Okay, so Control C, Control F, Control G. Okay, so Control. Let me just I've grouped them. So Control G to group them. Let's position this one here. So what happened? I think this didn't actually group well. So you can see we don't have any shadow for this vertical rectangle around the rectangle. I would leave it that way since it's going to be hidden behind the let's see, the cut, the back side of the cut. So what I'll just do is just Control C, Control F this, and then um, just while holding on Shift key, I'm going to constrain the movement, then just move it up. Okay. So you use Shift key to constrain the movement of objects. I'm going to rotate it. You can see the Shift key is restricting its movement, or the constraint the movement. Okay, then I'm going to resize it by just moving this inside. Okay, so I'll move this side inside. I could see what it's actually changed it. So what you have to do is just highlight it and then A on the keyboard. Just click well, then let's rounding it, and then notes appear rounding it. Okay, so we have our tail. We can see this doesn't look very realistic. We can leave it that way or decide to delete it. Okay. So let's just group them. Okay, so M on the keyboard for V on the keyboard to for the move tool. Okay, since we grouped them, I think we just move them here, arrange, and then better still, let's change this color. So I'm going to change this body. I'm going to change the color. Okay, then we would have to move the tail backwards. So I'm going to select this, select this. Okay, so remember to multi-select to use the shift key and then click on the object. So after selecting them, just arrange it and bring to front. Okay, so thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next tutorial. You can paste, copy and paste them to various portions of the screen. Thank you.